This is the Daily Brew, 5 minutes or so of grounded insight for a business that works with you, not against you. I'm Teresa Cleveland. Let's dig in. Quick note before we get started today. If you haven't hired help yet, that's completely fine. Tuck this away so you can refer back to it when you do. But know that even if you're doing everything solo right now, this will put you ahead of the game when you do. If you've been around for a bit, you've more than likely heard similar stories. And frankly, I've heard from those who haven't hired yet that the stories they hear about this scenario is one of the reasons why they haven't. Here's the deal. You're a business owner doing between 100, 125,000 a year, working about 50 hours a week. You've got all your standard tools set up, but there's no way you can keep doing it all alone. It's just not possible. You feel like you're waving the white flag and finally hire a VA for, say, 10 hours a week. And you think, this is going to be great. I'm going to be able to get some of my time back. But here's what usually happens. The VA starts, you hand off some tasks, and then the questions start rolling in. What do I do with this? Where does this go? Should I respond to this? What comes next? And 6 months later, you're still working 50 hours a week, maybe more, because now you're managing your new team member on top of everything else. And honestly, I've heard so many people say, well, I just hired the wrong person. They said they could do this, and obviously they couldn't. And somehow, because we're so close to it, and maybe this is the first time we've hired, we don't understand what's really going on. So it's easy to say, well, it didn't work out because they didn't know what they were doing. And that's the story we've all heard, right? And it's the reason why a lot of people don't hire. Or if they have hired, they don't have it in themselves to rehire anytime soon. Here's what I want you to see today, though. That scenario happens because of a gap in your operations and systems. And when you fix that one gap, it ripples into other areas and everything else gets a lot easier. Let me show you what it looks like when it works. Same business owner, same 10-hour-a-week VA. But this time, before hiring, the business owner takes 1 week to document 3 processes. Not everything. Lord knows that's overwhelming. Just 3. 3 things that she knows she wants off of her plate. Let's say client follow-up after discovery calls, scheduling and prepping for upcoming client sessions, and managing her email inbox using a specific system. Each one takes her maybe 30 to 45 minutes to write down. Nothing fancy. It's just clear. There's no need to go out and figure out which software you're going to use and all the bells and whistles. Right now, you're just getting it out so you can help the person who's going to help you. When you do that, here's what happens. This is what's going to help you cut back on a lot of those questions. And it's going to let your new team member know, here's what happens, here's what good looks like, here's when to ask me versus when to just handle it. And instead of spending the first month figuring out what to do, she has 3 clear processes she can run with immediately. That's week 1. Those 3 tasks are off the business owner's plate completely. No back and forth, no constant questions, no micromanaging. And one of the things that people don't realize is you're building trust between you and that team member. You're trusting that she is able to do the job, and she's trusting that you know what's going on and you're able to give clear direction. So the VA knows exactly what to do, and she does it. That's 68 hours back every single week. Now, here's where the trickle-down effect starts. With 6 to 8 hours back, you can finally work on the business instead of just in it. You can start making CEO moves. You can refine your offers. You can build out your client experience so it's more consistent. You can finally set up that metrics dashboard you've been meaning to create, or spend time on those things that you've really wanted to get in place. And because things are running more smoothly, you have the capacity to take on a couple more clients, which goes back to the bottom line. And it means that your income can go from 120 to 140 without working more hours. Who doesn't want some of that? And that's what happens when you fix one gap in your operations and systems. It doesn't just make that one area better. It creates space for everything else to improve. You get time back, which means you can think strategically, which means you can strengthen other foundations, which means your business grows without requiring more of you. This is what I mean when I say the foundations are connected. Fixing one creates momentum everywhere else. So if you've been hesitant to hire because you've heard the horror stories, here's what I want you to know. The problem isn't hiring. The problem is hiring without having anything ready to hand off. But if you can take 1 week to document even 3 processes before you bring someone on, everything changes. It allows your support team to actually support you. You get your time back and the business starts working with you instead of against you. That's the positive scenario, and it's completely possible. If you've been recognizing that you've got gaps in any of your foundations, that's what the Gap Finder session is for. 2 hours. We look at all 7 foundations and we find out what's broken. I'll help you prioritize what to fix first so we're able to make sure that you're doing the right things in the right order. The link's in the show notes if you want to talk. If this hit home, follow the show and share it with someone else who might need it today. I'll meet you back here next time.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM, women's voices amplified.